The pink full moon is rising tonight. Are you ready for what it's bringing with it? This isn't just another ordinary full moon. If you pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and really feel into the atmosphere, you might sense it. The quiet hum of energy in the air, the subtle stirrings within your soul. There's something undeniably different about this one. It carries with it a wave of energy that doesn't just touch the surface. It dives deep into your emotional waters, stirs your inner world, and encourages your spirit to rise. You might feel more tender, more reflective, or even unexpectedly emotional in the hours leading up to and following this full moon. Old memories might bubble up, dreams could become more vivid. You may notice synchronicities appearing like cosmic breadcrumbs, leading you towards something you've long sensed, but haven't quite grasped yet. This full moon, known as the pink moon, is not just an illumination of the sky. It's a mirror reflecting your innermost truths. And it's asking you to pay attention. Many people make the mistake of thinking that full moons are all the same, just recurring phases of light and shadow. But every full moon carries its own energetic blueprint, shaped by its place in the lunar calendar, its proximity to Earth, its position among the stars, and the collective energy of the season. And this pink full moon? It's arriving with a softness and subtle power that could mark the beginning of something profound for you, if you're willing to meet it with an open heart. This is your invitation to lean into it, not just as a casual observer of the sky, but as an active participant in your own unfolding. It's time to stop scrolling for a moment, to close your eyes and to breathe deeply. Say this aloud if it resonates. I am aligned with the universe's energy, and I am ready for transformation. Let those words sink in. Feel them move through your body like a ripple of permission, from the cosmos to your soul, saying yes, yes, yes to all that's waiting to bloom within you. And if that affirmation stirred something in you, share it. Speak it into existence. Drop it into the comments. Send it in a message or write it in your journal. Let this energy be witnessed. Let yourself be witnessed. Because when we declare that we're ready for transformation, we send a powerful signal to the universe, and the universe listens. Now let's step into the heart of this moon and explore what makes it so potent, so special, and so deeply needed in our lives right now. The pink full moon will rise in all its glory on April 12th, 2025, at exactly 8:22 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's the first full moon of true springtime in the Northern Hemisphere, a moment where the Earth is waking up, stretching, and beginning to blossom once again. And just like the flowers pushing through the soil, you're being invited to rise too. Now, let's clear something up. Despite its name, the pink moon won't actually appear pink in the sky. The term comes from the blooming of phlox, a vibrant pink wildflower that often shows up this time of year. Symbolically, it's less about color and more about meaning. This is a moon of rebirth, of blossoming, of shedding winter's weight, and opening to what wants to grow. It's a sacred time to reflect on what's stirring within you. What seeds have you planted, perhaps months ago, that are now beginning to sprout? What aspects of your life are craving light, space, and attention? Under the pink moon's watchful gaze, you are encouraged to reconnect with nature's rhythm and realign with your own inner cycles. And here's the magic. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to sprint toward the finish line. You simply have to be willing to soften, to listen, and to show up. Growth doesn't always happen in leaps. Sometimes the most life-changing shifts happen quietly, steadily, like the way a tree grows, day by day, inch by inch, rooted and reaching at the same time. So if you're feeling lost, uncertain, or even a bit overwhelmed right now, know that you're not alone. And you're not off track. You're in the process of becoming. And the pink full moon is here to guide that process gently forward. Now here's another layer that makes this particular full moon unique. It's what astronomers call a micro moon. That means the moon is at its apogee, the farthest point in its orbit from Earth. Visually, it appears smaller, a little dimmer, and less commanding than a supermoon. But don't let its quiet appearance fool you. This moon may not roar with brilliance, but it whispers with wisdom. It doesn't demand attention. It invites presence. It carries a more introspective energy, one that encourages slowing down, going inward, and tuning into the subtler realms of emotion and intuition. If supermoons are about big breakthroughs and dramatic revelations, micromoons are about inner alignment. They ask questions like, are you really living in a way that honors your truth? Where are you out of alignment with your soul's desires? What small shifts can you make that would create a ripple of transformation over time? These are not light questions, but they're important ones, and they're exactly the kind of soul whispers that this pink micro moon is amplifying. It's a beautiful time for journaling. Meditate under its light. Create a sacred space where you can be honest with yourself, raw, real, and unfiltered. You don't have to share your answers with anyone. This is about you and your own journey. The moon sees you. The moon holds you. And in its quiet orbit, it reminds you that your pace is perfect, your process is sacred, and your path is unfolding just as it should. If you're wondering how to practically harness the pink moon's energy, here's a gentle suggestion. Don't overthink it. You don't need a complicated ritual, 1,000 crystals, or a perfect plan. You just need presence. You need intention. Spend time outside if you can. Let the moonlight touch your skin. Listen to the night sounds. Feel the wind. Let the earth remind you that you're held. Use this moon to release old emotions. Write down what you're ready to let go of. Grudges, fears, habits, limiting beliefs. Then burn the paper in a safe container or bury it in the earth. Let it return to the elements. Set intentions. What do you want to grow in your life over the next lunar cycle? Speak it, write it, feel it as if it's already true. Nourish yourself. Drink herbal teas, take long baths, rest more deeply. This is a moon of renewal, not exhaustion. Connect with your inner voice. Turn down the noise of the world and listen inward. What is your soul longing for? What truth are you ready to embody? And above all, remember this: your transformation doesn't have to be loud to be real. The moon doesn't shout, and yet it moves oceans. You, too, are capable of quiet power. In a world that glorifies hustle, noise, and performance, the pink micromoon offers a radically different message. It's okay to go slow. It's okay to be gentle. It's okay to take your time. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're not lost. You are in a sacred season of unfolding. And while the world may not always validate the inner work you're doing, the moon does. She sees the way you've kept going, the way you've grown even when no one was watching, the way you're beginning to trust yourself more deeply. Let this moon be a reminder that your journey matters, that your energy matters, that your quiet transformation is worthy of celebration, even if no one else sees it yet. So tonight, as the pink moon rises, perhaps not with a blaze of color, but with a steady silver glow, let it wash over you like a balm. Let it cleanse your heart. Let it light the path forward, and let it whisper to every part of you that's been waiting. Yes, now is the time. You are ready, and you are. If this message resonated with you, let yourself feel it fully. Share the affirmation: I am aligned with the universe's energy, and I am ready for transformation. Write it in the sky of your soul, and let it echo through everything you do this week. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe or stay connected, because this is only the beginning. The cosmos has so much more in store for you, and together we'll keep dancing with the stars, one moonbeam at a time. Let the pink moon bless you with clarity, softness, strength, and the courage to keep becoming. You've got this. What makes this particular full moon even more special is its incredibly rare timing. It arrives just one day before the moon reaches its exact apogee on April 13th. In astronomical terms, an apogee is the point at which the moon is farthest from the Earth in its elliptical orbit. But on an energetic and symbolic level, this distance creates a unique kind of space, a subtle expansion that brings a heightened sense of clarity and stillness. When a full moon and the moon's apogee occur so close together, the result isn't less power. It's a shift in how that power is felt and expressed. It becomes more refined, more internalized, and more sacred. Rather than stirring the surface of your life with dramatic waves, this moon reaches inward, asking deeper questions, stirring forgotten truths, and whispering gently to your soul. Because the moon is farther from Earth at this moment, the usual emotional pull that we often associate with full moons is softened. That doesn't mean the energy is weaker. Not at all. It's simply different. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't push. It invites. Instead of sweeping you up into a whirlwind of feelings, this moon offers space. Space to breathe, space to reflect, and space to realign. It encourages us to look inward with tenderness and honesty. It's a soft but steady light that illuminates not just the surface of our emotions, but the hidden corners of our hearts, the places we often overlook in our busy, chaotic lives. You might find yourself unexpectedly drawn to reevaluate the boundaries you've set in your life, those invisible lines that separate who you are from who you're not, what you accept from what you no longer tolerate. You may feel the need to revisit old patterns, habits, or relationships you thought were long gone, only to find that there's still something unresolved. But rather than this being a regression, see it as a gentle opportunity to clear lingering energies and to truly release what no longer serves you. This moon asks you to check in with your path, to ask yourself whether the direction you've been moving in still feels aligned with the person you're becoming. Are your goals still rooted in authenticity, or have they started to drift into the expectations of others? Are you chasing something from your past, or moving towards something true in your future? In many ways, this is a moment of profound cosmic clarity. With the moon sitting at this great distance, there's an emotional detachment that allows you to witness your life with new eyes. It's as if you're momentarily lifted above your story, given the rare gift of perspective. From this elevated view, you can see the patterns, the lessons, and the purpose behind what you've been experiencing. You're no longer lost in the forest. You can finally see the whole landscape. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or stuck in cycles of overthinking, this full moon offers a breath of fresh air. It invites you to zoom out, to reconnect with your broader vision, and to remember that you are not defined by your current struggle. You are always evolving. This moon's energy isn't flashy or loud, but it is incredibly wise. It won't force you to change, but it will gently guide you to notice where change is ready to happen. It will nudge you to reassess what matters most, to sift through the noise and come back to the essence of what truly lights you up inside. It's the kind of energy that doesn't demand action right away, but rather encourages intention. It's about making space before making moves, about grounding yourself before taking the next step. Now let's turn to the name of this moon, the pink moon. Despite the romantic and whimsical image that might come to mind, the moon won't actually glow pink in the sky tonight. Its name doesn't reflect its color, but rather the season it represents. The pink moon finds its roots in ancient traditions, especially among Native American tribes and early European cultures, where each full moon was named in connection with natural, seasonal changes. The pink moon was named after the appearance of moss phlox, a vibrant wildflower that blooms in early spring across North America. This delicate flower blankets the landscape in soft pink hues, marking the Earth's reawakening after winter's long slumber. In this sense, the name pink moon is deeply symbolic. It's not about what we see in the sky. It's about what's happening all around us and within us. It's about life stirring once again beneath the surface, about beauty returning in gentle ways, about the soft power of renewal. The pink moon carries the essence of spring, fresh beginnings, quiet awakenings, and the promise of new growth. It reminds us that every ending we've endured, every chapter we've closed, has been preparing us for this moment, to bloom once more. This moon is a gentle yet powerful reminder that your inner world is awakening too. Just as the earth sheds its frost and welcomes back the sun, so too are you being called to release the remnants of your own winter. You're being invited to step out of the shadows, to warm your soul in the light of new beginnings, and to trust in the natural rhythm of your personal evolution. There's no need to rush. Just like the seasons, your growth unfolds in its own perfect time. The pink moon is here to help you reconnect with that rhythm and to remind you that you are not behind, not lost, not broken. You are simply in the process of becoming. This full moon is a sacred invitation to stretch beyond your comfort zone, to gently challenge the narratives that no longer resonate, and to plant new seeds of intention with love and awareness. What do you wish to create in this next season of your life? What dreams have been quietly waiting for you to believe in them again? What parts of yourself have been longing to rise, to be seen, to be honored? The pink moon encourages you to turn toward these questions with an open heart, not to force answers, but to make space for new possibilities to unfold. It reminds us that transformation doesn't always come with fireworks and thunder. Sometimes it arrives in the softness of a sunrise, in the quiet moment you decide to try again, in the gentle courage it takes to forgive yourself or speak your truth. Sometimes the most profound changes begin not with action, but with awareness, with a shift in how you see yourself, your life, and what you're capable of. Tonight, under this subtle yet deeply potent moon, allow yourself to lean into the energy of change. Let go of what feels heavy, outdated, or misaligned. Honor what you've outgrown and thank it for the lessons it gave you. And then, bravely, open yourself to what's next, not with pressure or expectation, but with curiosity and trust. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to be willing to keep showing up, to keep listening to your inner wisdom, and to keep choosing the path that feels most true. You are not the same person you were at the last full moon. You have lived, stretched, felt, released, and evolved. And by the time the next full moon rises, you will have grown even more, perhaps in ways you can't yet see. This is why moments like these matter. This is why we pause, reflect, and reconnect. Not because the moon itself changes our lives, but because it mirrors back to us what's already shifting within. It holds space for our transformation and invites us to be conscious participants in our own unfolding. So, take this sacred pause. Step outside and feel the stillness of the night. Let the moonlight wash over you like a blessing. Breathe deeply. Remember who you are. Not the labels, the roles, or the expectations, but the essence beneath it all. The part of you that is timeless, wise, and infinitely resilient. The part of you that knows, even when everything else feels uncertain. Let this full moon be a turning point, a gentle reset, a return to your truth, a soft yet powerful affirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. Trust in the path ahead, even if you can't see it clearly yet. Trust in the timing of your life, even if it feels slow or uncertain. Trust in your own becoming, even when you feel lost. You are not alone in your journey. You are held by the same rhythms that guide the moon, the tides, the seasons. You're part of something greater, something beautiful, something unfolding in perfect harmony. And tonight, beneath this luminous pink moon, you are invited to remember that. When nature begins to stir again after months of stillness, there's a quiet sort of magic that flows through the air, one that can't quite be put into words, but can most certainly be felt in the soul. The world begins to exhale, slowly unfurling from its wintry cocoon, and everything, every tree, every breeze, every blooming bud, seems to whisper, it's time to begin again. This turning point in the year where life awakens from its long slumber carries with it a deeply spiritual resonance. It's a soft and sacred invitation to return to ourselves, to shed what we've outgrown, and to make space for the new, not in a dramatic or rushed way, but gently, intuitively, and with trust in the quiet unfolding of our own becoming. Just like the natural world outside, our inner worlds move through seasons. And this moon, this tender and illuminating full pink moon, serves as a bridge between the dormant stillness of winter and the awakening breath of spring. It's not loud or demanding. It doesn't push or pressure. Instead, it coaxes us inward with a graceful kind of strength, asking us to reflect, release, and reawaken with intention. It reminds us that growth, real and lasting growth, often begins in silence, beneath the surface, beneath the noise of the world, and beneath the expectations we place on ourselves. This moment offers a chance to come home to your truth, to feel into the tender spaces of your soul, the places you may have ignored or forgotten in the rush of everyday life. There's something profoundly healing about acknowledging those parts of yourself that have been patiently waiting, like unopened letters from your spirit, filled with wisdom, longing, and gentle reminders of who you truly are. This moon, in its soft luminescence, encourages us to open those letters, to read what they have to say, and to trust the messages they carry. Even though this pink moon is technically a micromoon, meaning it appears smaller in the sky due to its greater distance from Earth, its energy is anything but small. In fact, its subtlety is what makes it so powerful. While some moons come in like thunder, shaking up emotions and sparking breakthroughs in dramatic ways, this moon whispers instead of roars. Its magic lives in the quiet clarity it brings, in the emotional truths it reveals, and in the permission it gives us to soften into ourselves. Rather than pulling us outward into action, this moon draws us inward. It invites us to sit with our emotions, to observe our inner landscapes, and to gently sift through the layers of what we've been carrying. It offers an emotional mirror, one that reflects not just what we want to see, but what's truly there. And this kind of honesty, this kind of raw, beautiful truth-telling between soul and self is where deep transformation begins. If you've been feeling off, untethered, or a little disconnected from yourself lately, you're not alone. Life has a way of pulling us in all directions, scattering our attention, and leaving us feeling stretched thin. But this moon brings a gentle nudge, a soulful reminder to come back to center. It's a chance to pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? What am I ready to welcome in? Where am I being called to realign with my deeper truth? These questions don't demand immediate answers. They simply ask for your presence, your willingness to be still long enough to listen, And sometimes, in that stillness, clarity arises like the first bloom of spring, quiet, tender, but unmistakably alive. There's also a beautiful focus on relationships under this moon's glow, though not necessarily in loud or obvious ways. Instead of big conversations or dramatic revelations, the magic shows up in smaller, more intimate moments. The kind of moments that might seem ordinary on the surface, but hold a quiet depth. The way someone looks at you when they really see you. The comfort of a shared silence, or a realization that blooms unexpectedly during a moment of reflection. It's during these moments that emotional truth rises to the surface, asking to be acknowledged. Not necessarily solved or fixed, but simply witnessed with compassion. Whether you're nurturing a romantic relationship, navigating friendships, or healing your connection to yourself, this moon encourages honesty. Honesty with your feelings, with your needs, and with the parts of your heart that long to be seen and heard. This is also an incredibly rich time for clearing emotional and energetic clutter. Just as we might open windows to let fresh spring air into our homes, or clean out the physical spaces we inhabit, the full moon offers a chance to do the same within our internal landscapes. If there are thoughts, beliefs, or emotional weights you've been holding on to that no longer serve your growth, this is your invitation to gently begin releasing them. There's no need for grand gestures. Sometimes the most powerful rituals are the simplest ones. Lighting a candle with intention, journaling about what you're ready to let go of, or even just sitting in stillness under the moonlight with your hand over your heart. These acts carry energy. They send a message to the universe, but more importantly to yourself. I am ready to begin again. And beginning again doesn't always mean starting over completely. Often it means returning to the parts of yourself you've drifted away from. It means remembering your worth, your voice, your purpose. It means reconnecting with the dreams you quietly tucked away, thinking the time wasn't right or you weren't ready. This moon says otherwise. It says, you are ready now, not because everything is perfect, but because you're willing to begin from where you are. During this sacred window, especially around April 12th, when the full moon's energy is most potent, you may feel a natural pull toward reflection, toward softness, and toward creating space for new intentions to take root. This is not a moon of loud manifestations or high-energy declarations. Instead, it's a moon of grace, patience, and emotional steadiness. It's the kind of moon that teaches us to trust the unseen, to believe in the quiet power of our own healing, and to remember that true transformation often begins in the most unassuming ways. You may feel called to release old narratives about who you are or who you're supposed to be. Perhaps you're ready to forgive yourself for the things you didn't know before you learned them, or to extend grace to parts of you that are still learning how to love and be loved. You might notice a softening in the way you speak to yourself, or a deepening of compassion in how you hold space for others. These small shifts matter. They ripple outward in ways you can't always see, but they lay the foundation for lasting change. The pink moon, with its connection to renewal and rebirth, also carries an energetic alignment with intention setting. Not just any intentions, but the kind that grow from the soul, the kind that ask for your heart, your vulnerability, and your commitment to inner truth. These are not goals born from pressure or comparison. They are soul seeds, planted with care and nurtured with love. Ask yourself, what do I want to feel more of? What kind of energy do I want to move with in the coming weeks? What am I ready to embrace within myself? Let your intentions be guided by how you want to feel, not just by what you think you should achieve. When you align with emotion rather than expectation, your manifestations become more magnetic because they're rooted in authenticity, not performance. There's a quiet strength, in trusting the slower rhythms of growth. Just like the first flowers that bloom in early spring, fragile yet resilient, your own blooming may not happen all at once. But that doesn't make it any less beautiful or significant. In fact, the slow unfolding allows you to savor each step, to integrate each lesson, and to move forward not from urgency, but from presence. This full moon doesn't ask you to be anyone other than who you are. It doesn't ask for perfection or performance. It simply asks for your presence, your willingness to be with yourself, to feel what you feel, and to honor your process. It reminds you that healing isn't linear, and that transformation doesn't have to be dramatic to be real. You are allowed to move at your own pace. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to bloom slowly. So as this pink moon rises in the sky, let it be a mirror for your own becoming. Let it reflect the light within you, the light that never went out, even in the quietest, darkest months. Let it remind you that you are already growing, already healing, already becoming the version of yourself you're meant to be. Trust in the process. Trust in your timing. Trust in the gentle unfolding of your path. Because even in stillness, there is movement. Even in silence, there is song. And even in the smallest of shifts, there is the power to change everything. This moon arrives as a sacred pause, a moment suspended in time, inviting us to step inward with gentleness and grace. It holds space for intentions rooted not in urgency or striving, but in healing, forgiveness, and truth. The kind of truth that doesn't shout or demand, but quietly reveals itself when we are brave enough to be still. When we are willing to look within and meet ourselves fully, without judgment, we begin to unravel the stories we've clung to, the narratives that may have once kept us safe, but no longer serve who we are becoming. This is not just another lunar cycle. There's a unique energy accompanying this moon, one that calls us to strip away illusions and meet the raw, beautiful essence of our own hearts. And when the moon appears near apogee at its farthest point from Earth, it brings with it a symbolic spaciousness that is impossible to ignore. It's as if the universe is offering us a wide, open sky within our own souls, a gentle distance from the noise of the world so we can hear our own inner voice again. That distance isn't about disconnecting. It's about gaining perspective. Sometimes we need space to remember who we are beneath the expectations, beneath the roles we play, beneath the masks we didn't even realize we were wearing. This moon offers that clarity, not as a flash of lightning or a dramatic epiphany, but like the slow rising of the tide, inevitable, quiet, and powerful. It's an ideal time to let go, to release what weighs heavily on your spirit, even if you're not quite sure how. Whether it's emotional wounds you've carried for years, quiet fears that whisper you're not enough, or that nagging self-doubt that shows up every time you try to grow, this moon offers you the light to see it clearly and the energy to begin the sacred process of letting it go. But releasing doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to burn it all down or declare yourself reborn overnight. Sometimes healing is as subtle as a breath, as soft as a tear, as honest as admitting to yourself, I'm still carrying this, and I'm ready to put it down now. This is the kind of healing this moon supports, the kind that honors your timing, your pace, your unique journey. And healing, true healing, is rarely linear. You may revisit wounds you thought had long since closed. You may feel old feelings rise to the surface, not to torment you, but to be finally acknowledged, held, and released. This doesn't mean you're regressing. It means you're going deeper. You're uncovering new layers. You're meeting yourself at a depth that wasn't possible before. And that is something to celebrate. This moon is not asking you to be perfect. It's simply inviting you to be honest, to be present, to be open, And in that openness, you'll find something sacred, a reconnection with your higher self, not through striving or force, but through intention and presence. It's not about doing more, it's about being more, being with yourself, being with your truth, being with your heart. Manifestation, too, takes on a different quality under this moon. We often associate manifestation with action, with hustle, with vision boards and affirmations. But this moon reminds us that manifestation is also about listening, about aligning, about making space. When you quiet the noise and tune into your own inner rhythm, you begin to feel the divine timing of your path. You begin to trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. Not because you chased it down, but because you became the version of yourself who is ready to receive it. Let your heart lead the way, not with a roar, but with a steady, quiet confidence. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to map out every step. All you need to do is take one intentional breath, one mindful step, and then another. This is how we arrive, gently, intentionally, aligned with the flow of our lives, rather than pushing against it. And as the moon swells in the sky, our emotional sensitivity often swells too. You may find yourself feeling everything a little more deeply. The joy feels richer. The sadness feels sharper. The quiet moments feel fuller. This sensitivity is not a flaw. It is not something to fix. It's a sign that you are deeply connected to yourself, to the energy of the moon, to the pulse of the universe itself. It's okay if you feel tender. It's okay if you feel raw. It's okay if you find yourself crying without knowing exactly why. This openness, this vulnerability, is where the magic happens. It's where transformation takes root. When your heart is open, even if it's been broken, that is when the light can get in. That is when you become fertile soil for new growth, new understanding, and new beginnings. Allow yourself to feel it all. The grief that still lingers, the joy that surprises you, the longing you can't quite name. It's all part of your unfolding. You are not too much. You are not too emotional. You are not too sensitive. You are simply alive and in tune with the cycles that shape us all. And when the full moon rises, especially a pink moon like this, there is an even deeper sense of introspection. The energy becomes personal. The light doesn't just shine outward into the world. It turns inward, illuminating the hidden corners of your own psyche. You might become aware of feelings you usually keep tucked away. You might notice themes resurfacing, patterns, memories, emotions you thought you had already moved through. This isn't regression, it's refinement. The soul is a spiral, not a straight line. We revisit what needs more love. We circle back to places that still need our attention, not because we've failed, but because we're ready to heal at a deeper level. We're ready to bring more light into the shadows. And if your heart feels heavy, know that this too is sacred. The moon doesn't ask you to be happy all the time. It asks you to be real, to be awake, to be present with what is. That honesty is the foundation for everything else. Clarity, growth, manifestation, love. All of it begins with truth. So listen to the quiet whispers within. They're not just random thoughts or fleeting feelings. They're messages. They're soul prompts. They're gentle nudges from your inner wisdom, reminding you of what matters, of what still wants to be healed, of what you're ready to release so you can finally step into the full light of your being. Let this moon be a mirror. Let it reflect back to you all that you are, your tenderness, your strength, your capacity to feel deeply and love fiercely. Let it remind you that healing doesn't make you weak, it makes you whole. That feeling deeply doesn't make you fragile, It makes you wise. That pausing to reconnect with your inner world isn't a delay. It's a return to what matters most. There is nothing passive about presence. There is nothing weak about gentleness. There is immense power in choosing to slow down, to listen, to breathe, to allow. That is where transformation takes root, not in the noise, but in the stillness. So, light a candle. Sit beneath the moonlight. Breathe. Let the weight you've been carrying soften. Let the grief that's been buried rise to the surface to be seen. Let your dreams speak. Let your heart open. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove. You don't need to fix. You are allowed to be exactly as you are in this moment. That is enough. That is more than enough. And from that place of radical honesty and self-acceptance, everything begins to shift. You begin to remember who you are. You begin to hear your own soul's voice again. You begin to trust that the life you're meant to live isn't out there somewhere. It's unfolding from within. This moon isn't just lighting the sky. It's lighting you. Let it show you the way home. The energy of the pink moon, especially when it graces us as a micromoon, smaller in appearance, yet just as potent in presence, has a uniquely tender quality. Unlike the intense emotional waves that sometimes accompany other full moons, the pink moon tends to whisper rather than roar. It doesn't demand attention with crashing tides of transformation. Instead, it arrives softly, like a breeze through blossoming petals, bringing with it quiet shifts and subtle stirrings that gently awaken the heart and soul. You might not feel an explosive surge of clarity or a thunderous call to action under this moon. Instead, you may feel a pull inward. A tender nostalgia may wash over you, not overwhelming, but noticeable, like remembering something precious, yet distant. You might find yourself more attuned to the beauty around you, more sensitive to the emotions of others, or simply craving solitude. All of these responses are valid. In fact, they're sacred. If you find yourself needing more rest, honor that. If you sense emotions rising unexpectedly, a sudden urge to cry, a feeling of longing, or an unexplainable ache in your chest, know that nothing is wrong. This lunar moment is peeling back layers gently, revealing parts of your emotional landscape that are asking to be acknowledged. There's nothing to fix, only to feel, to hold with grace and presence. It's easy in today's world to dismiss emotional sensitivity as a weakness. But during this moon, we're reminded that our sensitivity is one of our greatest tools for inner navigation. It is a compass that points us toward deeper truths, the truths about what matters most, what we've outgrown, what we need to release, and what our heart is quietly yearning for. When you feel tender, that's your soul whispering. Listen, this season, as the earth slowly awakens into full bloom, the pink moon offers us a chance to do the same. Think of it not just as a moon in the sky, but as a spiritual companion, one that walks beside you, gently encouraging you to let go of what no longer feels like home. Old stories, outdated expectations, habits that quietly drain you, relationships that no longer support your becoming, patterns of self-doubt that shrink your spirit. The pink moon doesn't demand you rip these away. It simply asks you to notice, to recognize the heaviness, and to consider the possibility that you're allowed to set it down. Let yourself soften into this process. There's no rush. There's no perfect way to do it. Even the smallest acts of realignment, decluttering a drawer, finally saying no, carving out more quiet time, or allowing yourself to feel joy without guilt, can become sacred rituals of rebirth. You don't need grand declarations, you just need presence, willingness, and self-trust. This moon carries the essence of renewal, not as something loud or dramatic, but as a quiet return to truth. It's the gentle reminder that growth doesn't always look like a breakthrough. It often looks like a breath, a pause, a choice to shift inwardly before anything ever shifts outwardly. Think of how spring works. Buds don't bloom overnight. The earth doesn't shout its transformation. It just slowly, steadily starts again. So can you. This is a powerful moment to come home to yourself, to sit with your feelings without judgment, to reconnect with your heart's wisdom. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to have everything figured out. What you do need is presence, curiosity, and a bit of faith in the process. Let this be a time where you truly care for yourself, not in a performative way, but in an honest, soul-nourishing way. What does your heart need right now? Perhaps it's more stillness, more movement, more nature, more boundaries, more laughter, more permission to feel without explanation. You get to decide. The pink moon supports these kinds of inward recalibrations. It asks nothing of you other than your truth. And as you settle into this truth, you may find that your intuition becomes clearer, your inner voice grows louder. Not in a way that overwhelms, but in a way that offers clarity in the quiet moments. There is guidance available to you now, not necessarily through logic or planning, but through feeling, through the spaces in between, through the small, seemingly ordinary moments that are actually full of meaning. A song that speaks to your soul, a sudden memory that appears out of nowhere, a deep breath that feels like a message. Don't dismiss the signs. The universe doesn't always speak in volume, it speaks in resonance. The pink moon also invites us to remember that healing and transformation are cyclical. You're not starting from scratch. You're spiraling upward, returning again and again to deeper layers of self-awareness, shedding what no longer serves with more ease each time. So be gentle with yourself if you feel like you're revisiting old emotions or patterns. You're not regressing. You're refining. You're moving forward. Even if it doesn't look like it on the surface, there's also a collective energy of softness during this time. You might notice others around you also feeling more introspective, more tender, more open to vulnerability. Let this inspire compassion. Be kind, not just to others, but to yourself. Your journey doesn't have to match anyone else's. Your healing doesn't need a timeline. This moon teaches us that tenderness is strength, and that being emotionally open is not weakness. It's courageous. If you feel called, this can be a beautiful time for ritual. Not necessarily in a ceremonial sense, but in any act that grounds you and brings you into alignment. Light a candle. Speak to the moon. Write down what you're releasing. Take a slow walk and feel the earth beneath your feet. Cry, laugh, breathe. Everything you do with intention becomes sacred under this moon's gaze. There is a quiet power in this lunar moment, a soulful nudge reminding you that you're allowed to realign, to choose again, to return to what matters. You don't need permission from anyone else. The only permission that truly matters is your own. You get to say, "This is what I need now." You get to honor the version of yourself that's emerging, gentler, wiser, more attuned to what brings peace. As you breathe into this moon's presence, imagine that you're being held, not just by the night sky, but by the universe itself. There is no rush. There is no pressure. There is only this moment, this breath, this chance to start anew in a way that honors your soul. Let yourself soften. Let yourself trust. Let yourself believe that even now, especially now, you are being guided. You may not know the full path ahead, but you don't need to. The pink moon doesn't illuminate everything at once. It lights up just enough for the next step. Trust that. Trust your timing. Trust your inner rhythm. This moon is not just a phase in the sky, it's an invitation, a sacred reminder that your journey is unfolding exactly as it needs to, that you are not behind, that nothing is wasted, that your tenderness, your reflection, your inner work, it all matters, it all counts. So as the light of the pink moon spills across the sky, take a moment to truly feel its message. Close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and say to yourself, not just with words, but with deep intention, I trust in my journey, and I embrace the changes ahead. Let that affirmation settle into your bones. Let it become a part of you. This is a new chapter, a fresh breath, a moment of becoming. Even if you can't quite see what's next, know that it's okay. The unfolding doesn't need to be rushed. The bloom will come in its own time. For now, just keep tending to your soul. Keep choosing what brings you peace. Keep returning to your truth. And if you feel called, share the shifts you're experiencing. Speak your heart. Let others witness your becoming. There's something powerful about giving voice to your transformation. It anchors it. It affirms it. It lets the universe know you're saying yes. If this message resonates, know that you're not alone. There are others walking this path too, quietly awakening under the same moonlit sky. And if you'd like to keep receiving guidance like this, heart-centered, soul-deep, and gently empowering, feel free to subscribe to Sacred Promises. Together, we'll continue walking this path of healing, renewal, and sacred becoming. Keep shining, keep trusting. Your journey is sacred, and it's unfolding in the most beautiful way.